Hello.
All right, don't worry, Doreen. I'm just setting up. I'm just getting everything together. All right, we have the meeting is now streaming live. Pleasant good evening, everyone. Welcome to the class of Steel. We're gonna ask Her Excellency Doreen to introduce our speaker for us this evening.
Um, Good evening to you all. Dr. Michael Steele, Your Excellency Jenny Steele, all the members of the class of Steel, our guests in the class of Steel, all the excellencies of the class of Steel. Please let's welcome our own mentor, senior mentor and trainer, Her Excellency Dr. Anita Defoe, to take us through the night tonight. So thank you, Dr. Anita Defoe, over to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much to all the excellencies in the house. I hope that wherever you are in the world in your day, that you have had a productive and joyful day or evening. And it's my pleasure to be sharing with you on this Friday in the class of Steel. Um, as I was sharing with His Excellency Bishop Dr. Michael Steele, I had the honor about 2 minutes ago with a class in
Go ahead, Dr. Defoe. Quickly unmute and just unmute yourself.
I'm trying to get this to the screen back.
Okay.
Okay. And so, as I was saying, I had the honor and privilege to just share some words at a graduation today for a group of women who had spent 8 months looking at their businesses and trying to figure out how they were going to pivot. And I was asked to talk about beyond the pivot. And when I was talking with them and sharing in their graduation celebration, and they talked about the fear when all the orders were canceled, the fear when their business plans were derailed because of COVID, when they realized that they needed information that they didn't know what they were going to do, how they were going to survive, but they stuck with it. And they spent the 8 months and they were mentored, and they all remarked about how their mentors had given them information, how their mentors had helped them come up with tools, and how they were really able to transform their businesses and their lives. And I smiled as they talked about the transformation, and they almost everybody in their presentation, because all of the mentees got an opportunity to share for a couple of minutes what their big takeaway was. They all talked about growth and what they had learned and how valuable being in the mentee program had helped them. And I said I smiled because what I want to talk with the class tonight about is the 15 invaluable laws of growth. And we've talked about how everything every experience you have should lead to growth. That no matter, and we talked about it the last time I shared with you, that folks that win in life and in their business, they look at challenges differently. They don't look at it as a loss, they look at it as a learning opportunity. And so as a companion piece, I want to share with you, and this is based upon the writings of my mentor, John Maxwell, the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. And in it, he talks about each and every day is a growth opportunity, if that's your mind. Think about it in your business, in your ministry, how these 15 invaluable laws of growth, what they can mean to you, your growth, and your impact. So the first law that I'm going to share is the law of intentionality. Be intentional about growth. Growth doesn't just happen by accident. It must be intentional. What information you need, your purpose. What is your purpose? What is your aspirations? What is it that you want to accomplish? So you got to be very focused on what is my goal in my life? What is my goal in my business? What's my goal in my ministry? Because in the absence of goals, you just really like a ship lost at sea. So you have to be very intentional so that you can maximize your time and you can accomplish what you set out to accomplish. So that's law number one. It's called the law of intentionality. So that's it. Be intentional in how you want to grow. The second one is called the law of awareness. Well, you got to be aware of yourself. You can't improve something if you're not aware. And many times we don't want to hear feedback, or we take feedback the wrong way. Feedback doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It doesn't even mean that you may have major shortfalls in the area. What it does, feedback just tells you how you can grow, how you can spread your wings and become more powerful. What else you can do to take your strengths and your knowledge and your aptitudes and make them even stronger. If you don't know where you stand, if you're not aware of who you are and you're not aware of your strengths, your opportunities for your improvement, how can you fix it? How can you grow? So you got to be aware. And many times we spend more time being aware of other people and their needs more than we are aware of ourselves. So be aware of who you are. Be aware of your skills. Be aware of your habits that could be limiting you. Know who you are and love yourself today, even as you grow in tomorrow. Too many times when we become aware and we know ourselves, if we don't like what we see in the mirror, then we criticize ourselves. We're mean to ourselves. We hurt ourselves spiritually, mentally. We hurt ourselves because we are not who or what we want ourselves to be on that given day. Well, I'm here to tell you, on each and every day, we grow, we can learn, but you got to be aware of yourself. Who are you? And you have to be aware of who is your authentic self. I always tell people, they may not understand me, but at least if I understand myself and I'm marching to my own drum, then I'm doing okay. Because too many times we, in the absence of our awareness, we try to be who other people say we should be or who we think that other people want us to be. And somewhere in the long way off distance is who you actually are. And so many times we have to ask ourselves, am I wearing a mask? Am I hiding behind the mask? Am I not really showing who I truly am? There's such power in growth when you can be your authentic self. But far too many people hide behind a mask. They're not being their true selves. They're not being authentic to who they are. And in that, they find a big level of being uncomfortable. They find unhappiness when they're not being authentic. So you got to be aware of yourself, because in law 2 awareness, you're also able to lead teams better because you know who you are. Law 3 is the mirror. Well, you have to take a close look at yourself in the mirror, and you got to believe and say to yourself, I'm worth it. I am worth it. I am strong. I am powerful. I'm impactful. You have to look in the mirror, because too many times when we look in the mirror, we say ugly things to ourselves, mean things to ourselves. So how can you lead others and appreciate others if you don't appreciate yourself? So it first starts with looking in the mirror and the beliefs you have about yourself. The self-esteem, you have to like yourself each and every day. Yes, we all stumble, we all make mistakes, we have setbacks, but you still got to like yourself. You still got to greet that face that is in the mirror with a smile. So law number 3, as you're looking to grow yourself, is the law of the mirror. Law number 4, the law of reflection. Schedule some time and just reflect. Reflect on where you've been, where you are today, and where you want to go tomorrow. Think about the lessons that you have learned. Reflection serves to strengthen your critical thinking. When you reflect and you analyze events and situations, that makes your mind sharper when it comes to critical thinking. Reflection is good, whether you do it early in the morning or late at night. Maybe you do it at lunchtime, but you take a few moments and you reflect with a spirit of gratitude. Think about what you've accomplished, where you can go, what you can do. And I'm here to tell you, all the time when we feel that we're lacking something, we're losing something, I dare say that there's somebody somewhere who their situation is far worse, far, far worse. And so we have to be grateful as we reflect on where you have been and where you're going. Look at how and what you've accomplished, and keep a gratitude journal where you write down. You could set a list, and you decide how many things you may decide you're going to write down. If 7 is your number you like, you're going to write 7 things down each and every day that you are grateful for. Well, number 5 is the law of consistency. We accomplish things through being consistent. And that means taking a step each and every day, working toward our goal and our aspiration. So much of what we're able to accomplish in our life, in our work, in our ministries is based on being consistent. So you have to ask yourself, are my habits serving me well, or are they derailing me even more? Am I being consistent? Am I demonstrating grit? Am I really taking one step each and every day toward what it is I want to accomplish? Consistency. So many times we procrastinate, or we say we're going to do it tomorrow, and tomorrow turns into next week, then it turns into next month, and then it goes on and on and on. And so being consistent, having a schedule, having a way that you go through your day, how you organize your work and your time, that serves you well as a leader, and that serves you well when you're looking to lead everybody else. You see, consistency and habits are even more powerful because it is said that if you do something 7 to 14 days in a row, that it becomes a habit. And that could be a good habit or a bad habit. And at one point, the research used to say, well, if you work to unravel a habit and took 28 days or more, you could get rid of the habit. But now they are finding that it's quicker to make something a habit, and it's far, far longer to get rid of a habit. So we have to be very careful what we let into our space, what we get accustomed to doing. And if your habits are not your friends and they're your foes, you need to reflect on them, because that's going to impact your consistency. We have to be careful what we let in our space, and something that we get comfortable in, because once we get comfortable with a habit or being inconsistent, we stay that until we really work on it with a concerted effort to change. And as a leader, you want to be consistent, because that helps to make people trust you, respect you. They feel that you have ethics. And when you're consistent, they don't want to see the Anita Defoe that shows up today and then next week it's like they don't even recognize who I am. My heart, my spirit, my approach, my words are like night and day. And they're going to be like, well, who is this person? Who is this? And that sends a wrong message, and it decreases people's feeling as toward you being reliable. So the law of consistency is number 5. Law number 6 is the environment. Sometimes they say if you look at your 5 closest friends, and if you see what your closest 5 friends are doing, that will give some reflection on who you are and what you might accomplish. And they often say that your network really will reflect your net worth. That often if you see who's in your space, who are you associating with, who is feeding into your mind and your spirit, the environment that this speaks of can be people that are your friends, family, or it could be the environment, your community. Those things that are around you, if you don't seek something else, that environment can take over. It can color your view of the world, yourself, and your aspirations. This is why in so many instances, when you look at research and they talk about whether a neighborhood, a community, or village is riddled with poverty, or if it's riddled with gun violence, if it's riddled with whatever. And many times when organizations are running youth programs, they try to expose young people to other environments so that it can change their mindset. And so even though they may be living in an environment that is not conducive to positive development, that they can see another way, they can see another world. The only issue with that is when, for example, when a youth program does that, if they don't work and try to uplift the parents, which is in the research is called a 2-generation approach. It's like you working and you fixing the young person, but then they got to go back to the environment. So they find themselves straddling the fence between 2 environments. Excuse me. So
All right, looks like we have a little bit of a glitch. Dr. Defoe, when she gets all back connected, she would start from law number 7, the law of design. Law number 7. All right, Dr. Defoe, you can unmute.
It's
Law
interesting.
number
It's interesting how the environment tries to shut my messages down lately.
law number
But
7.
anyway, still I rise. The law of design, number 7. When you're looking at your self growth and you're thinking about, even if you lead in a team, the growth, you think about what is it that you want to accomplish? What kind of growth? And this you can apply to yourself personally, but this same law can be applied when you're looking at your team, your ministry, your project. You must come up with a plan, because if you don't have a plan, you planning to fail. And you must commit your plan to paper. And the plan is your best idea, it's your best hope, it's your roadmap. And you need a roadmap, because if we were all gathered together right now and we jumped in a vehicle and we start riding, where are we going? If we don't have a destination in mind, we just riding. Yeah, we doing some nice sightseeing, but in the end, where are we going? So you have to be very intentional and do whatever it is in terms of personal growth, ministry growth, business growth. Do it by design. I hope we all need hope. Hope is a good thing to have.
Don't worry, Dr. Defoe. Don't wipe the smile off your face. Keep the smile on your face. We got this together. You know how it goes.
Smiling.
Keep smiling. Let's do this. Law number 7, it is law of design.
Yes. So as I was saying, everything that you do, have your roadmap. You might find you modify the roadmap, but at least you have a roadmap. You want to have a strategy in mind. As a leader, you want to be a strategic thinker, an intentional thinker, and you want to be that way in your personal life and in your business life, your ministry life. Do it by design, on purpose. Law number 8. Law number 8 is, as we heard this, no pain, no gain. Law number 8 says, and with this, it's really in the valley is where we learn. In the uncomfortable situations is where we learn. Outside of our comfort zone is where we learn. You know, John says, as you see, good management of bad experiences that leads to the biggest growth. It's easy to manage something if it's smooth sailing and you could do it almost with your eyes closed. But when you have that challenge, how do you respond to challenge? Some of you have heard me say, and I believe it, circumstances and situations, they do not define you. They reveal you. They reveal who you are. They reveal how you handle change. How can you adapt? Some people, when things don't happen and roll out on a magic carpet ride like they thought, then they're just disrupted. They're disconnected. They can't continue. Pain And I'm not talking, and when he says pain, because I don't believe in pain in the real sense, but you get the message with this. It's through those hard knocks, through those challenges. That's where our greatest learning comes from. That's law number 8, the law of pain. Law number 9, the law of the ladder. Well, you got to have a strong foundation. The law of the ladder says you're going to climb, and you are basically going to climb or be able to climb based upon your character. Your character is your foundation. That is your ladder. And you think about it, if your ladder and you have a strong character is your foundation to foster and help other people to go up the ladder as well. But if your character is shaky, if you're on sinking sand, your ladder is going to either slip down or tumble over. And sometimes, even if the character is weak, people are able to go up the ladder, but because of their character, the character flaws, being unethical, being unscrupulous, being devious, when all of those kinds of factors come into play, the ladder comes crashing down. And when you see this, we see this in all kinds of organizational settings. We see it in our families. We see it amongst friends. Character is the basis for everything that you want to accomplish, particularly in growth. Because good character allows you to have a strong foundation from which all your other values grow, and character will open doors for you that sometimes just your smiling face cannot. You will find that sometimes opportunities will come to you because in a crowded room, they may say, well, we need somebody to do X, Y, Z, and they want somebody of good character. Your character, your name, those are valuable things. And you should work each and every day to maintain your character, your values and your name. Your name is powerful, and you have to protect it at all costs. That's number 9. Number 10 is the law of the rubber band. Well, if I had a rubber band, if you just go and buy a box of rubber band, the rubber band serves no purpose if you just have it in a box. What is the purpose of a rubber band? The rubber band stretches to fit over something. So if you're not stretching yourself, if you're not seeking to learn more, to do more, you are doing yourself a disservice. The law of the rubber band says it's when we are stretched, when you are beyond and pulled out your comfort zone, when you're trying new things. You remember I told you about how scared I was when I had to do this message in El Salvador with a bunch of ministers, and I was not a minister, but I stretched myself. I did it afraid. And sometimes we have to do things afraid, and you have to stretch yourself, because that's in it where we learn, where you realize, okay, I can do this. Okay, I can do this afraid. I can stretch myself. That's the law of the rubber band. Stretch yourself. Find some way, some information, something that you want to master, and allow yourself to learn it, because each and every day is our opportunity to learn something new. Law number 12. Law number 11, okay, I'm jumping ahead, sorry, is trade-offs. Well, to get something, you have to give something up. If you plant a garden and if you just put the seeds in the ground and you never weed it and never water it, what's going to happen? You're not going to have much yield. You're not going to have any crop. If you want to write that book, or you want to write that curriculum, or whatever it is you want to do, if you're in front of the television all day, it's going to be very difficult to do that. There's a trade-off. Commonly they used to say, oh, you can have everything. Well, you might can have everything, but you have got to schedule it. You can't have everything simultaneously. So you can't work on the book and flick the remote at the television at the same time. You can't build your ministry without effort. You have to do trade-offs. You may not be able to spend all the time, with friends or family. Sometime you might have to prioritize that. The law of the trade-off simply says that there's exchange, that you have to ask yourself, what is my why? Why is this important to me? And am I willing to put in the time and the effort to make it happen? There is some trade-off. There is always some sacrifice in anything that we want to accomplish. That's the law of the trade-off. Now to law number 12. Law number 12 is curiosity. As a leader, curiosity is your friend. Good leaders ask good questions, and asking people questions, inquiring. That's how you learn. That's how you grow. And so should be curious. You should be curious in your daily growth. You should be curious in your ministry, in your business. Being curious, that's how you learn new things. That's how innovation occurs. Curiosity. Inventive thinking is considered one of the 21st century skills for success. And that is, where innovation comes from. A lot of folks, as I was listening to the women today talk about pivoting, they had to look at their products and services and figure out in this environment with COVID, how do I change my business? What do I need to do to modify my product or my service? They were retooling, and they were thinking, asking themselves the question and being curious. How do I do it? Curiosity is a powerful tool that can help you as you're looking to grow by questioning, by asking people and looking for new information. Curiosity can help you in your personal growth. Law number 13, the law of modeling. Everybody needs a mentor. We learn, and we are able to learn quicker if we have a mentor. If someone is modeling the behavior. So just as we all have mentors, then when we mentor for each other, and you mentor for other people, we lift each other up by modeling the behavior. That helps people learn quicker. They're able to see from your success. Modeling helps you achieve what you want to accomplish. And modeling through mentorship helps you practice and build up the skills. Modeling is a powerful tool for growth. Law number 14, the law of expansion. You are only limited by the limits you put on yourself. You can continue to expand, you can continue to grow, you can gain new knowledge, new skills. It's your mindset. It's, as we talked about last time I spoke with you, do you have a fixed mindset or do you have a growth mindset? Are you just on limited result mindset or you have an outcome mindset? You can expand, you can grow as much as you are willing to put in the effort to get the information, the wisdom, the experiences that can help you to achieve your divine destiny. Expansion, don't limit yourself. And then law 15, the law of contribution. Our joy comes from being purposeful and giving to others. And then as you grow yourself, part of this joy that you feel from contribution is supporting the growth of others. We are given the gift of life to serve. And those people who figure that out and figure out their purposeful work, and they do those two things simultaneously, they get so much joy out of life. People sometimes forget the law so much in my life. The more I give, the more I get. And many times when you get it, doesn't come from perhaps who you think is coming from. It comes from someplace else. It comes, that's powerful, because that good
All right, Dr. Defoe, she'll be right back. Just give her a moment. When you're working with technology, people get raptured and then they get born again. Dr. Defoe, I was sharing with the others that when you're dealing with technology, persons suddenly get raptured and then they become born again. Welcome back.
Thank you.
The law of contribution.
So the more you give, the more you find that space what you want to give. A colleague of mine took Jamaican proverbs and she turned this into a leadership program, and she uses this to teach leadership and mindset principles. She's there in the UK. And her business is called One Hand Can Clap. And you try to clap with one hand. You can't do it, can you? She has a powerful message. Her cards are called Mama Used to Say, and she takes a lot of Jamaican proverbs and she's applied them to organization development and leadership development. So the more you give to others, the more you help them achieve what they want to achieve, you'll accomplish what you want to accomplish as well. When you focus on what's in it for them first, what's in it for me, what you want, you will get it. But so often we have it reversed. We come into a room, we come into a situation, we come into a conversation, and the first thing we like, well, what's in it for me? What I'm getting out of this? But if you change your spirit and you think about what's in it for them, what is going to make them see value in it? My mentor, John, teaches us all the time, add value wherever you go. That we on the John Maxwell team seek to add value in our work and our deeds. And I know, and I've heard the hearts and the comments from you here in the class of Steel. And I know that all of you seek to add value. You seek to be more impactful, and you seek to transform the lives of people in your family, in your community, in your country. That is the law of contribution. So these are the 15 laws of invaluable growth, John Maxwell style. And he feels that these laws have helped him. He shares them, and I share them with others. So I would be interested, and I always ask this to people when they hear them. I ask, what law stood out most for you? What law was most impactful when you think about? Who would share with me what law most resonated with your heart and your spirit? Anyone gonna share with me?
Okay, I see the golden eagle. Go on, golden eagle. Unmute yourself.
Your Excellency, the class of steel, and yeah, Your Excellency, Dr. Defoe, and you are always a blessing. And I call you, I see you as someone that God is using to bless this particular generation. Your teaching is timely. Thank you. What touched my heart, what the message that touches me more among the laws is the law of contribution, the last one. I mean, you can't achieve anything alone, and you have to achieve it together. And just like you said, your network determine your network, and together we can achieve great things. I see it touching me. I mean, it's touchy because you can't achieve greatness alone. No man is an island. Nobody is a great person on himself or alone. We are all great because people made us great and we make others great. I think that is one of the things that touches me, and that's one of the law that blesses me tonight. Others are great laws, but this one is touchy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much, golden eagle. Uh, just a quick note. First Lady and Her Excellency Dr. Defoe has been discussing, and they have agreed to make available 2 of the books that we shared in the chat. So there are 2 of the books that are available. The 2 that they've made available are the Grit, The Power of Passion and Perseverance by Angela Duckworth. And they have also made The Power of Habit, why we do what we do in life and business. They have made both of those books available for those in the class of steel. So please go into the chat and you can download those 2 books to your mobile phone or to your laptops or iPads. And for those who have a little challenges doing that, First Lady will make them available at your request in our chat. First Lady will make them available to you. So, Doreen, what point jumped out at you the most out of the 15 laws? Which law jumped out at you the most?
Thank you, Your Excellency, Dr. Michael Steele. Mine was the one for His Excellency, Golden Eagle, but also the law of awareness. If you know yourself, if you don't know yourself, you cannot grow. So it's important that we know who we are. How far can we go? What do we need to do to go beyond our limitations? So the law of awareness has been also second to the law of contribution to me. The first one is the law of contribution, then the second one is the law of awareness.
Thank you so very much for your contribution. Dr. Defoe, you've heard, you're hearing Dr. Defoe, you're with us, the law.
Yes, I am. And I said, maybe if I turn off my video and just listen, that I can, whatever's, the fluctuations in the internet, maybe it'll take less bandwidth.
Okay. I see the Patience, Golden Eagles, the First Lady. Patience, you want to unmute yourself?
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed the class. I greet all of you. Your Excellencies in the house. Mine is the law of pain, because we've been going through some pains, and I just learned that without pain, there is no gain, and it's coming again. and it's very, very, I don't know, the word I'm going to use, very, very timely to me. So out of our comfort zone, actually, we learn. But when we don't go out of our comfort zone, we think that we will just get it at a platter of gold. So no pain, no gain. I was actually blessed by this particular law, and it's really timely for me, and it's really experiential for me because I'm experiencing. And when I go through pain, I'll definitely come out and be better, and I'll get some gain, either experience, either a lesson, or stuff like that. So thank you very much for this time. I appreciate
You're welcome. Your Excellency D4, any response?
Well, her her comment is so profound for all of us because we think that we learn from the high points, but it is our greatest learning comes from working through obstacles, overcoming challenges. That's where we build our skills. And when we're going through the situation, it is quite painful. As I mentioned earlier, to the women in the graduation, losing all of their contracts, losing their business, worrying how they're gonna get started. We've all had pain. We all have pain, personal loss, business loss, ministry loss. But as you shared, in being able to build ourselves back up, learning that the lesson, using what we learn, it does make us better because unfortunately in this life, we are not promised that we will not experience any pain, but it's how we respond to the pain. And some people, when they are impacted by pain, that derails them for a lifetime and they're not able to be resilient and they don't have any grit. So you're right through that. And if you remember that you are going to get better, and of course you try to minimize the pain as much as possible, but indeed our greatest learning comes through overcoming challenges, coming up with solutions. And remember, I told all of you last Friday, everybody in the class of Steel, you are solutionists. I claim it. I'm naming you solutionists. That's what I call myself. And I'm saying you all are solutionists and you are possibilities. And so that means you looking at possibility. You're not staying focused on the problem. You focused on what are the possible solutions that's going to fix this. And so you're right. I heard, the first law is consistency. It's through consistency. It's through contribution, rather that we feel our goodness. That is where we feel good when we give to others, when we support others. So all of these laws are invaluable as we're looking to grow personally. We're looking to grow in your business, your ministry. And then once you understand these, you are able to model these and coach them in people that are on your team or other people. So you're able to lift somebody up. And so that makes you as a leader even more powerful, even more stronger, because you can impact others. And that's what leading is about. It's inspiring people to be better, to do more than they ever thought was possible.
Well, thank you so very much for that. I want to, my wife, First Lady, have asked me to acknowledge one of her personal friends here in the UK, May. May, we want to thank you so very much for being in class this evening, and we just want to ask if you would just greet us this evening. May, can you unmute?
Hello.
What's emphasis?
Hi, we're hearing you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Jeannie is just acknowledging and saying hi.
Okay, hello everyone. Good evening.
Hello, May.
Hello, Ginny.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
How has it been for you? And any comments on any of the laws that we've shared on this evening?
Well, I think the first part, although I was I just got a bit of it, but not that much. So I'm just listening on to just taking it all in.
You don't know what to
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for being in class with us this evening. It's good having you with us.
Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. Olukoya, any of the laws or anything jumped out at you this evening during the class? I see your hand, Musa.
Yeah, good evening, Your Excellency. Good evening, Your Excellency, and good evening, Dr. Anita-Defoe, and all the excellencies in the house. Yeah, thank you very much, Ma, for this 15 laws of growth. The one that really struck me was the law of the rubber band. And when you said look for change, try to stretch yourself beyond your comfort zone. It is more like look for trouble, as it were, rather than doing the normal thing, which is for us to avoid anything that will stretch us out of our comfort zone. So it is more of a challenge, and I never saw it that way before, that there are things that come to us naturally and we enjoy doing them. But once there is something that will stretch us out of our comfort zone, we try to avoid them. So that instruction that we should look for change, really struck me, that we should be able to go beyond the normal and our normal experience and, just come out of our comfort zone and face the challenge and do something new. That would definitely bring growth. It really struck me and I really love that point. Thank you very much, Ma.
You're so very welcome. I don't know if any of you in the class this evening are, if you are familiar with the late Congressman John Lewis, who was a civil rights activist out of Georgia, and he was known for saying that he spent his life and his career in politics and civil rights looking for good trouble. He marched with Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. He fought for voter rights. He fought for righteousness up until the time that he transitioned to eternal life. He always said he was looking for good trouble. So when I'm smiling when you say that, the trouble that I want you to look for is good trouble, things that you aspire to learn, things you aspire to do, that even if you're afraid, that you try it, even when you're scared, that you take one step, because that's where growth. Because think about it, it's easy. If something you're good at, it doesn't take much effort to do it. And and some people decide you can stay stuck right at that point where you're good at something and you learn no more. Trust me, if you can see my face as I'm sharing this, when I went there to El Salvador and was asked to preach a sermon, and I didn't speak Spanish fluently, and I'm not a minister, I was scared. I was terrified. That was certainly a rubber band moment for me. Yeah, I didn't look for that trouble, but that trouble found me because the colleagues knew I liked to serve, and they asked me to go on the mission trip with them. And good trouble to me is serving. So of course I said the mission trip, and I said I'm gonna do it afraid, and I did the one. I don't even know if you want to call it a sermon, but I spoke the one time, but where the rubber band even got tighter was when they said, "Oh, that went so well," and people said they want to hear more, and then I ended up having to speak 2 more times. That was a rubber band moment for me. So whatever it is that you aspire to do, whatever it is you want to learn, whoever you know that you want to impact. I know that you're doing a lot around youth development, and youth across the continent, they need you. There's so many young people in Mother Africa that they either go get education, they can't find work. They don't get education, they can't find work. Many of them just to survive, they're challenged each and every day. So they need you. That's your good trouble, because I know you're supposed to be the youth leader. They're waiting on you, and that's your good trouble to expand yourself beyond your comfort zone. That's for everybody in the class. Is outside the comfort zone, even in stretching the rubber band. Because if you just stretch the rubber band out of the box, that's what you already know. That's what you already good at. But when you stretch the rubber band further and you go outside the other end of the rubber band and you stretch it as far as your arms will span, that's where your growth is. That's where you become more impactful. So I challenge everybody in the class of Steel. Find out what your rubber band moment is and stretch yourself, because people are waiting for you to manifest your destiny, because you're going to help them. That's the part with contribution and serving. If you don't manifest your divine purpose and your assignment, people who waiting for the information you have, the books you're supposed to write, the business you're supposed to create, the schools you're supposed to start, the ministry, whatever it is you're supposed to do. If you get stalled, what's going to happen to the people that's waiting for you to come, to arrive? Destiny, I say every day, destiny is calling you. You have to make a choice if you're going to answer it. So I like that you said the rubber band. That tells me you're going to stretch yourself.
Don't worry, Dr. Before we go pull him. All right, Musa, I saw Musa, you had a comment. Musa, share your comment. Well, look how you get ready to be stretched. I know you're feeling the rubber band pull all, but don't worry, it's a good one. Go ahead, Musa.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Dr. Steele. Thank you, Your Excellency, Dr. Defoe. The teaching was very, very interesting, and all the laws indeed are really impactful. Not to take us back, but a little, the law that really struck my heart, that was what I was just thinking about, pondering over it before my sister, Her Excellency, Patience, talked about the law of pain. Now, this law of pain, actually, when you expatiate it, you understand that it is highly diversified. To me, the law of pain is one of the significance of, it's very significant in terms of our efforts to experience growth or to grow in whatsoever we are doing. Even our salvation has to pass through the law of pain on the cross of Calvary. A statement says that losers don't win, quitters don't win, and winners don't quit. Now, what made people to quit in the journey of growth might be because of the pain they were going through. Either the pains for failure, the sacrifice, no success, and the rest, and continuously, because of the pain, they decided to give up. But those who endure the pain, those who continue, those who overcame the pain, were the ones that win. So to me, the law of pain is very, very significant. And then how do we overcome this pain? That is where patience come in, endurance, perseverance comes in. And when we persevere in the midst of pain, when we endure, and then continue to also in the midst of pain, then I believe that is when we'll achieve the goal. In the midst of pain, you still have the hope that at the end, we achieve your goal. So thank you very much, Your Excellency, Dr. Defoe. It has been very, very impactful and so great. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for your
Yeah.
perspective. And you're right. Many times as people are seeking to grow, because they get uncomfortable, because they get afraid, because they've had some setbacks or failures, that's where the pain is. It's not the physical pain, it's the spiritual and the mental pain. And they decide to give up. And so then they just say, let me stay, where I am. So you're right. It does have many dimensions, but that is where our greatest growth comes, in those moments where we don't know the answer, where we got to seek some information. We got to, learn something new or do something new. That's where the pain, and some people, because they have gotten so accustomed that they don't want to respond to change. They decide to just settle. And when we settle, you really don't answer the destiny call on your life, because whatever the plans for you, they're there. They're waiting for you to catch up. And nobody said, that the pathway wasn't going to not have some hard rocks along the way to get to it. And some people on that path, if the path gets too rough, they say, oh no, forget this. This is too uncomfortable. This is pain. So your perspective is right, is point on. Thank you for sharing that. That's really it is willing. If you persevere, if you have that grit, if you're going to keep on and keep pushing, even though you don't know the answer, you don't have all the information, you don't have all the resource. That's where the pain comes. And this is why so many people don't actually manifest their true destiny. And Napoleon Hill, who's often credited as the person who originated personal development, he says that only 3 to 4% of the population really achieve their divine destiny because of the lack of purpose. And to get to purpose, you might have to go through some pain. You may have to, you're going to have some knockdowns. You're going to have some disappointments. But if that sense of purpose, that sense of urgency, if the people you want to serve, the people that you want to impact, if you can identify what brings you to tears, what you feel that if I don't fix this, the world can't go on. That gives you insight to purpose. Because if you find that purpose, then you're willing to experience those growth pains that are necessary. It's like women will share if they're birthing a child. A woman has to get to the 9 months. She can't stay at 1 month, 2 months. It got to be grow. It has to be some pain. And so just as you give the birth with the gift of life, when you're birthing your true self, your authentic self, it's going to take some effort. It's going to take some work. It's going to take some time. So thank you for sharing that perspective. All of you are being very insightful about the laws. I appreciate it, and you're seeing it, how it impacts our mindset and our lives.
I want to ask His Excellency Donald Ewers. Your Excellency, do you have one of the laws that jumped out at you, or you have a comment that you want to make for this evening's class, Your Excellency Donald Ewers?
Yes, Your Excellency, a pleasant good evening to all the ambassadors and to Dr. Defoe. Yes, one of the thoughts that you bring me back in my youth, many years ago, about afraid to make mistake and welcome your mistake. Now, we talk about the pain and the law of growth, and I give a small testimonial with my experience. When I was very young, my family was young, my wife had her first child. I needed to pass my driving tests for my family. I'm from a family of 9 brothers and sisters. Everybody passed their driving tests. I went up once, I went up twice, I went up 3 times, and they were constant failing me with my driving test. In the pain to pass my test, driving test, my male ego was even hurt. My brothers were laughing at me. Oh, you're worthless. Oh, you'll never pass your test. You will never that. Can you imagine in my 20s how painful that was? But true persistence, true determination, because I have a family, I need to provide transport for them to go to church, to the supermarket, etc., etc. But the pain I remember, and all of that came back tonight when you're talking about going through the laws of faith and how painful some situation, and I'm sure everybody in the ambassadors, they have experience on top of experience, learning from our mistakes through our pain. And it's really painful, some of the experience that we do go through. But the end product, as Esther said, if I perish, I perish, but I must see the King. And so therefore we have to have that determination in everything, whether it's our salvation, whether it's our secular job, whether it's our family, whether it's our children, we must have to go through that pain to reach and to achieve our goals. And it's really thought-provoking that you bring up these laws, 15 laws, and we could go on and on tonight. But thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, Mom, about all these and enlightening us and encouraging us and open up our understanding that, and I do like the part where you mentioned earlier on that our destiny, that we can be holding back somebody's destiny. If I don't step forward, the other person can be able to take up the mantle. So, you know, you really open my mind and make me look at things in a different perspective in saying that we must be determined. I'm coming from a background that we have to have our goals, a study to be achieved every year. You set your goals, you have something that you need to do. You don't let 1 year pass and the next year pass not doing something, but doing something and achieving an achievement every year. And I believe in personal development. I constantly developing myself. Some of my friends are saying, oh, you're too old now to be studying. But I believe so much, and you've just confirmed it, about developing yourself, getting new skills. The world does not stop. The new technology, the system, the media that we do, we have to, the computer, all these things, the new things. I think even I've seen it with Bishop Steele. They got a new thing they call, I don't know if I get it right, TikTok. They got all these different new, have I got it right, Bishop? Is it TikTok? TikTok.
Yes, you've got it right. TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok. And when I heard about this new one with TikTok, I said, I'm not going to join on. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on, I've got all these different, all the different things. Now this new one, these young people, you have to keep up. The world is constantly developing. And so thank you once again, Dr. for all what you're inspiring us and open our eyes. Thank you very much. God bless.
Your response, Dr. Defoe?
She maybe have gone for a coffee.
Yeah, I think she's having the technical glitch again. I want to share the one that really stands out to me. You're there, Dr. Defoe, with us again?
I am. Still I rise. Still I rise.
Well done. I want to share the one that stood out the most to me. I've listened to everyone, and And Dr. Defoe, this was a very good perspective, a good way of looking at the dynamics, because these 15 laws, they encompass and encapsulate the dynamics surrounding our success or our failure. And and the one that stood out the most to me, it really stood out the most to me. And as a matter of fact, I'll tell you why equally, is the law of consistency. And the reason why the law of consistency stood out to me is because as a young man, if you're from the islands, you would always hear your parents or people say, "Jack of all trades and master of none." You know, it is where you do everything, but you have not perfected anything. And I looked at my life based on so many things I tried and they failed. And then I tried something else and it failed. And then I tried something else. And you look at your life and you recognize everything that you're doing, it is not lasting like most of my schoolmates, lifelong. And and my dad said something to me when he met me. He said, "Michael, you need to stick to something because that is my weakness." And I said, "What do you mean?" And he explained to me that he never stuck to anything. He was always doing something. How many of you know that when you're raising a family or when you're trying to survive, some survival means that you catch at the next thing that's going to put food on the table? How many of you get what I'm saying? And the minute it stops putting food on the table, what do? You change. You go and you do something else that's going to put food on the table, because the purpose is putting food on the table. But if you're developing a vision and a plan, you have to be consistent. And in being consistent, it means that there are times that you're going to go through dry periods, you're going to go through deserts. But why a lot of individuals never succeed at accomplishing something long term is because when they find themselves in a desert, guess what they do? They turn back. They turn back. I want you to get what I'm saying. As soon as they find a dry place, as soon as they find a place of hardship, of difficulty on the way to accomplishing what they want to accomplish, they turn back. And we go to some place where there's water, where there's green grass, where it is fruitful. And most of the times when that happens, we never realize, by the way, you have not progressed. You've just stepped back. You might be eating green grass again, but you've not progressed. You've gone backwards because the journey to where you want to get is crossing that desert. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? The journey to your greatest achievement is crossing that dry period. It's going through that pain. It is a process. And when you stop going through the process, you've put yourself a step back. So through this, over the last maybe 10 or 15 years of my life, the last 10 or 15 years of my life have been very consistent. And the reason is because I've said to myself, you know what, Michael? You're a teacher. You're a mentor. Don't try to be anything else. I was a bus driver. I'm a carpenter. I was I'm an artist. I delivered bread. I delivered donuts. I was into fishing. Come on, somebody. A lot of you look at yourself, you will see that a lot of these things, you as well. But what have you perfected, Michael? I have not perfected being a top bread delivery because I'm not delivering bread anymore. I've not become the greatest donut man because I'm not delivering donuts anymore. I've not become the greatest gas station worker because I'm not at the gas station anymore. I've not become the greatest. You get what I'm saying? So the past 10 years of my life, I've focused on teaching, counseling, advising, and trust me, this has been where I have found my niche. Sure, it comes with deserts. Sure, it comes with difficult times. Sure, it comes with losing friends. Come on, somebody. You're going to lose friends. You're going to lose people because you step out of the circle that you were with them in. But if you value them more than your purpose, you will lose your purpose. And you will say, guess what? I've kept my friend in the donut business for 20 years. But guess what? You were stuck being a donut delivery man. Are you hearing me? You're stuck being a donut delivery man because you focus on the friends in that environment more than you focus on reaching your highest global, international ideal. So consistency, the law of consistency, Dr. Defoe, jumps out at me, and I want you add into that as well, because I think that is very important to be consistent in whatever we're doing.
Oh, well, most definitely, because it is through the consistency, the daily habits. It's taking the one step, and you notice as you commented that alluded to pain. The fact that when pain comes, so then you abort, and you move to something else. So you can see how they are, related. If you're not consistent in terms of what you want to accomplish, you do get derailed. But it also points to the power of purpose, because once you find, your purpose and your divine assignment, you do become, stellar in that. But it goes back to also to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Everybody has their subsistence needs. So if you don't have food, shelter, clothing, those basic needs, it's hard to move up the ladder to self-actualization. You're not thinking about purpose because you're just trying to have a place to sleep, some food to eat, and be able to take a warm, bath. And so that makes it, difficult. But if you can find your purpose and your calling, and you focus on that and you master that, most of us have multiple skills and aptitudes, but we have to focus them. And you focus on, that primary skill that supports your purposeful work. And then the other things you can start to do kind of as side things, supposedly. But when you kind of go from from thing to thing, you don't end up mastering, and you really very rarely can achieve your divine purpose because you haven't been consistent. I tell people, you're writing a book, right? Well, even if you write a paragraph every day, if you can't write a chapter, sooner or later you'll start writing a chapter a day. But at least write every day. If that's something that you want to do, whatever it is, take one step. That builds the consistency, and that builds, the habit. Because John always says that it's that our success and what we're able to achieve, it goes back to our consistency with action. What are you doing each and every day? Whatever it is, whatever your goal, in your work, your ministry, your business, if you can be consistent and you can take that step and take that action every day, then you will grow. You will grow, especially if those steps are purposeful. Yes, you're gonna experience some pain along the way, but you know that's part of the growth. I look at myself, some of the opportunities that I have, and I think I've mentioned, I was socialized by a father who was a school principal for one school district 43 years. My mother was a teacher for 38 years. So I was not socialized to be a social entrepreneur. I was socialized to get a job, go to that job, stay there for 30 or 40 years, get my gold watch, my certificate, and have my retirement party whenever that time was. And that's how you live. But destiny was calling, and there was purposeful work, kept saying, and I heard God clearly say, there's other work I want you to do. And I was forced with, am I, am I going to do this scared? Am I going to leave the comfort of my job as the vice president and step out here on faith? And it hasn't been a magic carpet ride, but I stayed consistent. I stayed persistent. I demonstrated grit, and I often reflect, if I had stayed in my office shuffling the papers at my desk, yes, I would calling. You might end up making some cash there a little bit. That's not your divine.
I think we've dropped out. Dr. Defoe has dropped out again on that important point, where you might make some cash, but are you reaching your highest ideal? Are you reaching your highest potential? And sometimes you have to step away from making a small bit of cash and step into a place where you build your legacy, because it's going to be up to you. It's going to be up to you to feel the pain and go through it to be a great success at what you want to accomplish. Paul, I see Reverend Paul listening carefully. Reverend Paul, do you have any contributions to today's class? Anything that you've grasped that jumped out at you, Reverend Paul, Your Excellency?
And I say good evening to the excellencies in the house. Yes, and I listened very carefully. In my line of job, I cannot afford to take one and leave the other. But there are three of them that jump out to me because the three of them intertwine together. And that is the pain side, awareness, and consistency. In my line of job, I have seen pain that some other people see. After that, they drop the baton and they run away. I'll just give an instance because pain shapes you. When you are in pain, the kind of pain that a lot of people will not want to bear, like having pain, having knuckle knee, being knocked down on the line of duty by something you have not seen, and you are in pain, you could not move, and you have to be carried into the car to where you have to do the job still in pain, and to carry that pain for about a year plus, because you have to learn how to walk in pain. And after that, you get the medal. Yes. Why I said the three of them intertwined is because what carries you on, what spurred me on was awareness, knowing who I am. Knowing who I am has helped me a lot. There have been occasions I want to leave the baton and I'll say, I am so. How can a general leave the baton? Or run away from the battle? They will continue. But the pain is immense. And knowing who you are is very, very important. Because if you know who you are, you can face anything. If you really know who you are, no matter how tough it is, you will not look back. Because you know, yes, I will have to go through it. Because I am so. And a lot of people are depending on me. I don't have to let them down. Then you move ahead. Consistency is very important. That is why I said the three of them are intertwined, they are interwoven. Consistency, there has been a lot of things, there have been certain things I've been doing for 20 years, going to 20 years now. A lot of people have come up with it and they dropped it. They saw as I was doing it, they thought probably it was easy. But even if I were on the sick bed and couldn't even lift my head, I'll wake up early in the morning and do it. The verses that I have been sending for close to 20 years now. A lot of people imitated me, they dropped out. But in that line, I cannot, because it's like, it's in my blood. If I don't do it in a day, it's as if I have not done anything. So that is why I said these three laws are very important to my life. And they jumped out and they spoke to me, just as I'm speaking to you now. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Dr. Defoe is not there. I would have said thank you for bringing up the laws.
Yes, Dr. Defoe, she heard you. Go ahead, Dr. Defoe.
Yes. Thank you so much for your feedback. I heard you talk about consistency, and I heard you also speak about the power of awareness. Self-awareness is a valuable thing. I heard one point you said, people may try to replicate what you're doing. They may try to either to imitate what you're doing, but your unique and divine assignment is you. And sad to say, they will never succeed because they can't be you. They can't do you, and if it's not their divine assignment. And your point is so well taken, the law of awareness, because in this life, people will say things to you, people will betray you, people will be deceitful, people will call you names. But if you know who you are, if you have a sense of awareness, they always say it doesn't matter what people call you, it's what you decide to answer to. And so it doesn't matter, and this is what derails people sometimes when they don't have that awareness. So I've talked to people sometimes, and in elementary school, the teacher said, "You're dumb," or "You won't learn this." So they've heard these messages, and they decided to take those fictional messages and turn them into fact. They claimed them. But if you know who you are, it doesn't matter what people call you, what they say. They talk about Jesus. It doesn't matter what they say about you, because you know who you are. And so self-awareness is a powerful thing, because you're comfortable with yourself, you know who you are, and you will walk in your own in your own way, because you know who you are. So there is power in awareness in terms of personal growth, because a lot of people don't know who they are, or they're trying to be who they think somebody wants them to be, or they try to be who they think people expect them to be so they can meet their expectations. So awareness is powerful for growth, because you can be your authentic self. You don't have to make any excuses. You don't have to owe any explanations. You're able to walk with you, because part of being a leader, and you see this more and more, and I'm sure you all have experienced it, in every place that you that you lead, people may not necessarily like you, but you didn't want to go there for them to like you anyway. Leadership is about staying focused on the vision and goals. And as a leader, it's much more important for people to respect you than like you, because as many times they may not like you, but they respect your ethics. They respect your consistency. They respect. And that's where sometimes people get it confused. Leadership is not it's not about likes. Sometimes it happens, but leadership is staying the course, seeing what the course is, and expressing that to such a level that people, even if they don't like you, they will still follow you. They've done extensive research where they have shown that even if a leader has to deliver bad information, bad news, that if he or she has carried themselves respectful, consistent, ethical, values and treat people with respect, that people, even though the information may be sad and they don't want it, they still take it because they have a trust and a respect of, that leader. So you're right. Being aware is a powerful thing. And one other thing I wanted to share when you were saying, and Bishop still talking about consistency, one of the things that John often shares is people ask him all the time, why is he so successful? Because he's been named the leadership guru globally by Success Magazine and some others for the last 3 or 4 years. And part of what John said is his work is a calling. He said his work is not about getting the next promotion or getting, going up the career ladder. His work is his calling, that he walked into the calling, and they asked him when he's going to retire. And he said he's going to retire when he goes to eternal life, that he's going to, continue to work. The whole thing with the team, for example, someone brought this idea to him. He was writing his books and speaking, and someone said to him, what are you doing about your legacy? You have all of these books. He has maybe 90 books, including this one out. They say that you've spoken all over the world, but what about legacy? What are you doing to sow into the next generation of leaders? And at first he was hesitant because he didn't want his brand to get messed up by having all of these people. But then he thought about it. And when I became a member of the team in, 2013, there was 3,500 of us around the world. Now there's 35,000. And that's how the team has grown, people that are doing leadership. And so whatever it is in your heart and your calling, you'll do. And one last thing I'll share with you about John Maxwell. John Maxwell never set out to do any of what he was doing. His destiny called him. He was a pastor at a church in California, and then he ended up moving to Atlanta. But his first book that he wrote, he was having some trouble with the leader, with the usher board at his church. And he wrote a pamphlet about how to work on a team, how to communicate on a team. And that started his writing work. So he never saw any of this in his future. It wasn't designed. It was his destiny. So whatever it is, your divine assignment, if you open yourself up to it and you open yourself to growth and open yourself up to, to get out of your comfort zone. Because he would say he didn't start out to write books. And right now he has a ghostwriter. He has a team of writers who help him write his books. So whatever it is in your heart, trust me, you will be equipped to do it. The resources that you need will come forth. All you got to do is consistently take one step each and every day toward what that destiny is, and the rest will come. Do, as I say, do it being stretched out, do it scared, but do it.
Well, come on, let's celebrate Her Excellency Dr. Defoe this evening for giving us an amazing class. We celebrate you, Dr. Defoe. Dr. Defoe, you might not know that I threw a big test on you, and I smiled behind the scenes, and I have something to tell you that in Dubai, it is my intention to honor you in Dubai, and you are going to be receiving your official credentials and your ambassadorial badge in Dubai officially, and all of the persons that are a part of the event, we have put it in place for you. So in Dubai, you and Carlton, I will make sure that you and Carlton will be receiving your badges while we're in Dubai officially.
Oh my goodness, what a pleasant surprise. Oh, wow. Oh, goodness. Well, I'm excited and honored, and I'm excited to meet whoever's coming to Dubai face to face. I'm looking forward to meeting uh, all of you that are coming there at the Leaders Without Borders event. I'm looking forward to it because I feel that we are connected globally, and we're here to support each other. So, well, thank you, and a blessed Happy Friday to everybody.
Definitely. So make sure that you have something. Make sure you have something really special, because that's going to be a photo op that we will make sure that Dubai is done proud for you. You'll be done proud in Dubai. And there are others as well who we're going to be honoring in Dubai as well. But I just wanted to tell you that because you stepped up to the plate this evening and you handled the challenge, I gave you a challenge and you handled it well. And I'm pleased with where we are going as a family. Because if we can't prove that we are what we're teaching, then individuals are not going to take us serious. And you have been so consistent. Your whole life has been what you do. And all of these individuals in the class of steel, all of you that are here. As a matter of fact, please allow me I just want to greet somebody this evening. Stanley Thomas. Stanley, I see you there. You just want to say good evening if you are able to do so. Stanley, you're able. Okay. Okay, I don't see any audio for Stanley. He's here with me in London as well. I just wanted him to greet us this evening. Anybody else, before I bring the closing points and what else I want to wrap up with, does anybody else have any comments, anything to say so I don't overlook anybody? I don't want to overlook anybody this evening. I see Bishop Comfort. You want to share a comment? Go ahead, Bishop Comfort. Your Excellency, Dr. Comfort, go ahead.
Good evening, His Excellency, Bishop Dr. Marcus.
Good evening.
And all the excellencies on board. I'm very grateful and thankful for Her Excellency, Dr. Anita Davis-Defoe. Well, it is today of all days, because I'm having some work to do tomorrow. It's an event coming on, and things were almost not done. And I didn't want to delegate as such because it was a very important issue. But then I told them that no, today I'm supposed to be in class. So let somebody do something and then I get into class. So I was in and out listening in the car of what was being discussed. And the last time she was on Zoom, she hit me very hard. I was very silent for a while because it reminded me of some things that I've gone through. And today too, I overheard her talking about pains and that sort of thing. But one thing I want to say is that as the book of James tells us, say we must count it all joy when we fall into diverse trials. And just as she put it, I love it very much. She said that you either win or learn. That's very awesome. You either win or learn. Meaning all these come to play. Whether you win or you will not say that you are losing, but you are learning out of what you left out, or what makes you become like a failure. In Christianity, we are not failures, because the word of God says that we are more than conquerors. So in whichever situation you find yourself, know that for sure you are a winner. And it's either today or tomorrow. I look back to the days when my two children passed on. And I always say this when I'm commenting on it, that children of God, sometimes when our fellow members fall into trials or temptations, instead of helping the people up, we sometimes bring them down. Why am I saying this? There were some people who said some hurting things that immediately I have to tell myself that I've forgiven them. Why? Because they overheard me saying that it is well. When my daughter has passed on, why should I say it is well? Why didn't I pray that the children come back to life? And it was very hurting because you know that God is always God. He never fails his children. I'm very confident that whatever happens in my life, it is the Lord's doing. Either he allows it for me to grow, or he allows it for me to learn a lesson out of it. So what I'm trying to say this evening is that pain makes us grow. They make us grow. There's nowhere in the Bible that tells you that as a child of God, you never go through trials. If it were so, the Bible will not talk about counting it all joy. So I encourage each member that what Dr. Anita has brought on board is very, very palatable. I'm very sorry I missed a lot, but I'm going to check along the line in the Facebook to see whether I can get that message back. And I know that if one keeps on doing certain things at a pace, consistently, you will definitely make it. Either you fall or you rise. When you are falling, you will know that, yes, this made me fall. Therefore, next time I will not step that place. The Lord richly bless all of you. It is well. Amen.
All right, thank you so very much, Ma. Come on, let's celebrate our Ma. Let her know that we are with her. Let her know you're not alone. You have a family that is with you. And I want to, Dr. Defoe, I need to, her comment has prompted an important necessity for you and I to speak after this class. I need to speak with you after this class, Dr. Defoe. It is important. I'm going to close this evening, but I want to say this to you. You sometimes might not recognize it, but you're the hope that somebody needs. I want to close, but I feel compelled to tell you what I'm telling you. You are the hope somebody needs. The world is under so much pressure right now. Listen to what I'm saying. So much pressure is on the world right now. I'm not trying to talk a fancy message to capitalize on the reality that there's difficulties and hardships. The world and the economies thrive on bad news, on disaster. How many of you get what I'm saying? This COVID period has made more multi-billionaires than any period in history has ever done. How many of you get what I'm saying? I really want to talk and wrap up this evening's session. But how many of you know in the midst of those who are reaping benefits, there are others who are reaping hell? Are you hearing? Are you hearing me? And who looks out for those who are reaping hell? Who does? Who looks out for those who are falling by the wayside without any semblance of recourse, any semblance of coming out of it, any semblance on where the heck do I go from here? Who's looking out for them? I want to tell you who is. You are. I am. Dr. Defoe is. Are you hearing me? You are needed. Don't think because you are going through challenges or difficulties that you are not needed. You are needed. You need to come through this period, this process. You need to come through it. Because you're coming through it is going to mean that somebody that is right near to you is going to hear you and say, because of your testimony, I have made it. Are you hearing me? Don't give up. Bella, don't give up. Musa, don't give up. Flavia, don't give up. Stanley, if you could hear me in the class of steel, don't give up. Somebody needs you. There are young men, there are young women that need you. What you have given to us, including myself, and as a matter of fact, I even want to talk to you, Stanley, in the class, if you're hearing my voice. You have caused me to be the man I am, because you gave me an opportunity. Dr. Defoe, I need you. I needed you back then because you gave me an opportunity to stand on your shoulders, to come alongside of you. And because you stuck by me, look at me today, because you stuck by me. But Dr. Defoe, everybody has been through horrible situations in life. But what do you need? Somebody that's going to be consistent and stick by you. Not for what you can give. It's not about money, currency. It's not for what you can do for them alone. But how many of you get what I'm saying? It's about what can you do for this person in the class of steel. I want you to live your life of servitude. A life of servitude. How can you make somebody else better? Where it doesn't matter what it costs you to do it for them. Are you hearing me? Because whatever it is going to do, it is going to cause that individual to reach somewhere that they could not have reached if it was not for you. Are you guys hearing me? Because I could bet a lot of you could look and see somebody that if it was not for their contribution or their being consistent or their support, you would not be here today. Come on, somebody, payback time. Say payback time. Tap yourself and say, you know what? Payback time. Payback time. Listen to me. You might think you don't have anything to give back. Stop fooling yourself. You've got experiences. You've got experiences that people are dying to hear somebody made it. Your bad exposure, your bad happenings, your worst mistakes. You've got them. Payback time. Not payback with cursing the earth. Oh, I cursed the day I was born. I cursed the day I met this person. I cursed. No, not that type. The type of this person taught me how to teach somebody else that is going to go through exactly what I'm going through. And I'm going to tell them, you could come out of it. You could make it. My wife went through an abusive relationship. Has it made her bitter? No, it has made her better. How has it made her better? My wife has organizations that deals with women, children and babies. Why? Because a lot of people in the Caribbean they have babies and no daddies. Come on, somebody. So do something that is going to cause somebody to look back and say, you know what? I'm going to help somebody with my situation. I'm going to help somebody with my suffering. I'm challenging you. Payback time. If you're in the class of steel, I'm going to make that. As a matter of fact, and that happened from tonight, because I saw something tonight that I will not tell you I saw it. I'm going to speak to Dr. Defoe. But I saw something tonight that tore my heart out of my chest and told me, Reverend Steele, little boy Michael from Barbados, what you are doing is so important. Don't stop. Don't stop. Because if you stop, persons are not going to have some way to just walk in and you are there. Are you getting me? A lot of people lose their opportunity because they're not consistent. They go on the corner and somebody pass and they scoff at them. They pass and they scoff at them. Every Monday they pass and they scoff. Wednesday they pass and they scoff. Friday they pass and they scoff. But one Wednesday, calamity strikes their life. Come on, somebody, and they pass. Because what? They know that you are there. Have you got what I just said? Consistency. I want all of you in the class of steel, whatever you're doing. I'm not talking about with the class of steel only. The class of steel is my baby. The class of steel belongs to me. I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to be here. I'm talking about what you're doing in your life, in your ministry, in your vocation, in your family, in your community. What are you doing that you need to be consistent? That you need to be there because somebody is going to show up, and when they show up, you're going to be in office. Come on, somebody. When they show up, you're going to be on duty. If any of you see me signing a document, you will see me signing VR very respectfully. How many of you know about the Marines? I'm going to give you one secret, and then I'm going to close this class this evening. I'm closing. I'm done. I'll give you one reason for why I do what I do. They taught me a Marine does not ever move from his post until relieved. I'm going to say it again. I'm a soldier. I'll say it to you. I'll say to you why I am the way I am. I am the way I am because I do not move from where I am posted until I am relieved. A Marine does not stand and guard the gate, and as soon as he gets tired and he's frustrated and overwhelmed, he leaves the gate. Because you have to wait until somebody comes and fills that place, and then you can move. Because if you move from your post, somebody might attack at the moment you move from your post. Are you hearing me? Man your post until relieved. Be consistent until relieved. Stay in class until relieved. Stay on the course. Hold your vision until relieved. I'm Dr. Michael Steele from the Castle Steel, and I salute you. I salute all of you soldiers and warriors. God bless you. Dr. Defoe, you and I will speak. I'll call you. I love you all so much, and keep your heads up. Don't worry about the tears. Tears will come. Don't worry about it. Keep your head up. And I'll see you in the next class on Monday. God bless you by the grace of God. If I'm not here on Monday, Dr. Defoe or my wife or somebody will be here. But the class of steel is going to be here to give you a word of encouragement. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday by the grace of God. I love you. Good night and God bless you. God bless you guys. I love you guys.
Bye. God bless you too.
God bless you, mate. Oh.
Bye-bye, guys. See you tomorrow.
Joshua. Good night, everybody.
Dr. Defoe,
Yes.
he sets an alarm.
Good night, Josh.
Good night. Josh sets an alarm to say, Daddy, you have meeting. And Josh sets an alarm and he's coming waking me up. Daddy, you have class of steel. Get up for class.
He's telling you got to get up.
He knows what Daddy does.
It's time to keep you on schedule.
Oh, good gosh. I'm going to see you. To those of you who are on our YouTube channel and our Facebook, thank you so very much for being with us. I'm Dr. Steve, and this is Dr. Anita Davis-Defoe, who is one of our chief lecturers in the class of steel, chief mentors, and we're going to be here. You see Bishop Comfort and all of us, we're going to be here in the class of steel. So stay tuned and continue to join us on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's our time, and we'll be with you. I'm Dr. Michael Steele for the class of steel. Good night and God bless.
Good night. Good night.
Bye. Good night, everybody.